Hello and welcome to Deccan Dialogues. In this episode, we bring you a conversation between Mohan Guruswamy, economist and thinker, and Sriram Karri, resident editor of Deccan Chronicle. This conversation is around Telangana's politics. Telangana is India's youngest state with the highest per capita growth. It is today India's number one state in value addition. But Telangana's politics seems to be in turmoil. Telangana's politics is not based on state government's performance, but on extraneous factors. Where is the state headed? Over to Mohan Guruswamy and Sriram Karri.
Today's politics in Telangana reminds me of 1978, when suddenly Andhra Pradesh came to the fore. As you know, the place from where the Janata Party was rolled back, or the northern influence in our politics. I think 39 out of the 42 seats went to the Congress from here, and it led to a change in government. Again, Telangana seems to be in the fore as the cockpit of this politics. You know, between the BJP and TRS one side, and the Congress somewhere there, but not quite disappeared. Congress was the ruling party for many years. Even TRS came into power as an adjunct of the Congress party till the last minute. So now we are seeing interesting things happening. And after all, this by-election is going to take place in Munugode. It's one by-election. But it is getting itself a national balance, as if that was the bellwether of not only Telangana politics, because if Telangana is breached as a non-BJP bastion, then general conventional thinking is that BJP has made inroads into the south, though they've been in Karnataka for a while. So what is happening in Telangana? Why is this election suddenly so important? Why is it not an issue that this fellow resigns his MLA-ship and wants to contest again? Why is nobody asking this question? Why are you doing it?
Well, I think there's an interesting chemistry to the second term of the TRS government led by Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao. He came to power after an early schedule of elections out of turn ahead. Instead of 2019, in 2018, in December, the elections were held. And they were held in the backdrop of a contrasting set of claims, conflicting claims about how well he has done. And there are many who believe that the TRS had done wonderfully well as a government. In particular, after getting Telangana, the whole water revolution, Telangana suddenly became green. I mean, if you've driven in Telangana.
I have been on record on this.
Yes.
Saying that the transformation of Telangana is amazing. I've done a study in Telangana in early 80s about the poverty and found that it's about the same indices as Bihar. Telangana has 9 districts then. And suddenly, this is the number one state in the country. Fastest growth rate, fastest value addition, highest value addition, third or fourth highest per capita GDP. Suddenly this state is a rich state. So the kind of money in the budgets are huge. Never thought that we'd see such large budgets.
So there are two aspects to it, but everything was attributed to K. Chandrasekhar Rao, which in a way is rightly the architect and originator of this state as it exists today. He is the person without a doubt who saw the vision, who crusaded for it, who ensured with whatever it took to ensure Telangana came. And then in the first term, in the first half, the first 3 years, phenomenal job with the tanks, the water, and certainly instead of hearing stories of farmer distress, suicides, migration of labor during the harvest season, we would report it in the right up to the late 90s, Mohan, workers from Telangana going to Maharashtra, Karnataka, or Andhra, just to work. And there's no work in Telangana, though.
You remember that song in that movie, Ramaya, Vastavaya.
Yes.
That's because construction labor in Bombay,
Yes.
they're all Telugus.
They're all
Mostly from Karimnagar.
Absolutely. So you've heard of that. I know some of them would be fortunate enough to go to the Gulf and face immense trouble. But basically it was a state which nobody had given much hope. People only talk about the success of the statehood. But the transformation, the agrarian transformation, the rural transformation, the landscape transformation, if you like, of Telangana was extraordinary. But the election of
having given that, as the situation stands today,
yes,
shouldn't the ruling party then get the credit for it?
Yes, there are reasons.
Given every only state in the country with a 100% household water connection. Only state in the country with this 24/7 power. Farmers get 100% power, no specific timings. With all this, shouldn't they be getting a reward for it? But I find that there's undercurrent of dissatisfaction. I'm not able to understand this.
So there's this TRS spokesperson, very eloquent, brilliant young spokesperson the ruling TRS party has, who appears on national channels, and I'm on constant dialogue with him on WhatsApp, etc. And every time, every morning I send him news clips of what appeared that day, and for about 15 days, and he agrees, disagrees, we constantly have discussion. He never responds to any of my news clips. So one day what I did, I by mistake typed the wrong message in the wrong window and deleted it. So what he saw was there was a message and he got deleted. He quickly called me back. And I said, look, this is human psychology. For 15 days I gave you news clips, you never responded. One day I gave you something, you didn't know what it was, I deleted it. That caused you enough consternation, doubt, anxiety, stress, curiosity, whatever to respond. TRS is trying to tell in its second term that look, we have done this. And people are focusing on what you promised to do and did not do. And therefore the issue of prioritization of development, prioritization of delivery, prioritization of welfare. Three things have happened. One, 2018, after a massive win, which came in the backdrop of Chandrababu Naidu tying up with Congress. Otherwise, but for that alliance, those numbers may not have looked the same. So TRS ended up getting more numbers than possibly a month before the election people may have wanted to give him. After all, the scheduling of elections early was because the chief minister sensed an anti-incumbency. He does not form a government for months, 2 months just to have a normal cabinet. Two of his finest ministers, K.T. Ramarao and Harish Rao, were not even inducted into the ministry till after a while. There was no focus on delivering the leftover promises. One of the things said in 2018 was, we promised this kind of a revolution in the village, that greenery, that water. We'll focus on the jobs, 2-bedroom houses, etc. People believed when they were fighting for Telangana that those 3 words, magic words, Neelu, Niyamakalu, Nidhilu, what it meant was everybody will have a house, everybody will have a job. And then they saw a deterioration in the commitment of the TRS towards delivering these 2-bedroom houses and jobs. And I think singularly that second thing was there was a sense that these welfare schemes are all bizarrely very different. The design of TRS welfare schemes, one should reflect on it. Historically, welfare is given most welfare to the neediest, to the poorest. Here you have a patakam called Raitu Bandhu. Raitu Bandhu is a landlord-minded scheme. More land you have, more money you will get. It's called input subsidy to agriculture. If it had a upper cap at 10 acres or something. Now, somebody has 100 acres and the price of land in Telangana has hugely gone up. You are ending up giving a lot of taxpayer money to somebody who has a lot of land, therefore worth a lot of money.
Theoretically, nobody has 100 acres, because land ceiling has kicked in. Very few people have.
But you know...
There's always an exception.
But you know that...
It's not the norm, Sriram. You've got to be fair. I don't know anybody, even in my circle of relatives, who has more than that kind of land anymore. They were all big zamindars, big landlords. So I think that is gone. But there are exceptions. Guys who buy on Benami names.
Yes.
But
so to begin with, that
economists say the direct transfer benefits. Now you got sharecropping. It doesn't go to the sharecropper.
Yes.
But if the farmer gets more money, the owner gets more money, he is also able to give a higher rate to the sharecropper.
Unfortunately, that must not be happening because it wouldn't explain the dissatisfaction.
Information takes time to go. This is where Abhijit Mukherjee's work is important. information takes time to filter. But when it comes, you say, why aren't you giving me more money? Question is asked. And then this negotiation takes place. So I think the process has started. I don't fault him on that. But I fault on this extravagant promises of two-bedroom house.
Extravagant or not, what happens is this: once it's a legitimized expectation.
It is.
And you have gotten a mandate as a barter. You give me my two-bedroom house and my job. So everybody believed they would end up having a house and one member having a job. That would mean essentially the whole state, the population of the entire state would socially jump from lower middle class and poverty levels to a kind of middle class to middle class. That transformation of their lives.
I think the state also didn't have the money. Now,
on the contrary, this was a surplus state, partly because of Hyderabad's presence and the fact that this city of Hyderabad with its tax collection was providing for 23 districts, suddenly is providing for only 9 plus 1, 10. So what happened, I believe, is there was a sense that this was a rich state. Here was a man in total control. People totally trusted K. Chandrasekhar Rao to deliver, to have the capability, commitment.
But even building 100,000, 150,000 two-bedroom houses costs a lot of money. I don't know how much was built. But I still think the idea was interesting. Because when I went to China for the first time, to Chinese village, I found the government was building houses, but they were building two-bedroom houses.
Yes.
Because they used to say, what is the point in giving one room? He's already living in one room.
Yes.
A hut is not very different from one room. So we want to give a modern life. They said, therefore, you must have heating. In China, heating is important. Or a fan, water, piped water, all that kind of stuff. So, even in this Indra Awas Yojana, all these Yojanas, we're building one room, tin shed houses. You see thousands of them lying vacant all over the country. They were also built saying that, after all, Dalits will only live in these houses. They now can't expect anything more. But here was the guy who was coming out and saying that we have to give them more to bring them.
Yes.
But point is, he didn't implement it.
People are angry about it.
People are angry.
And then what happened, I also believe, is that...
I think the allocation still hasn't been done.
Well, now I think we are in the last lap of this particular term of the government. And we have already, as you rightly pointed out, in the electioneering phase of Munugode. And how the palpable sense of anti-incumbency that I see during my ground interactions with people, and also what I get to know from my reporters and interactions with various leaders of all parties, there is a absolute unimpeachable anti-incumbency. It's seemingly irreversible. I would like to believe, therefore, that this government is aware that it is on a very, very loose footing. I won't call it thin ice yet, but I think it is getting to go there.
Has it the image of a one family establishment begun to hurt it? Absolutely,
without a doubt. Don't forget, this is the Modi era. Even if BJP was not, say, go back to 4 years when the election took place, BJP had 1 out of 119 seats, and that one particular legislator won more on his own individual clout in the constituency, Raja Singh and Goshamal, than really about the party. So, for all practical purposes, BJP was totally wiped out of the state. But we are in the Modi era where the point of somebody saying, I am an outsider, I am a rags to riches story versus a dynasty versus a family. And
who opened the gates to that?
Oh, KCR. When he broke Congress party, the opposition, that I think was the biggest blunder.
That time I wrote, what a stupid thing to do.
Yes.
You know, the Congress was there with 32 seats. If I were in KCR's place, I would have nurtured it a bit.
Absolutely.
To get some more seats.
Yes, BJP shouldn't have sensed the vacuum. So what essentially happened, those 2 months that I spoke about, instead of having a cabinet to take oath, he took oath as CM with just Mr. Mahmood Ali, the former deputy CM who became the home minister, nobody else. And the TRS was about, we are weak in Khammam, let's break the Congress party, let's break the legislative party, let's ensure the protocol of leader of opposition doesn't go to Mr. Bhatti, who's a Dalit Congress leader. And it looked triumphant. It was such a big mistake tactically to have given BJP a feeling that this is a potential second state in the south.
Very smart politician after all.
Well, smart people make mistakes. Very smart people make very big mistakes.
He opened the arena to the BJP to come in.
Absolutely.
And they've come in.
And they've come in, and of course they're bound to come in. And don't forget, Mohan, you would agree that BJP historically had pockets of sympathy in Telangana, part of Andhra Pradesh. They may be very weak in Andhra Pradesh, the residual state, but the state of Telangana, BJP had its context. I remember interviewing Mr. Assaduddin Owaisi before 2014, before Telangana came into existence, and I was reporting on the statehood agitation, among others, for New York Times, and I remember talking to Mr. Owaisi about it, and he said one of the reasons I oppose the formation of Telangana is because it will naturally create a sense of YSRCP and TDP will be dubbed as Andhra parties. They will lose favor of people very quickly. What will be left will be Congress, which is weakening, and this is hence in 2013, alarmingly weakening, and regional parties tend to, and then he had given the example of the Sorens, for example, in Jharkhand. Of course, Mr. Hemant Soren is back today in power, but the point is that a family-dominated party and landscape would create an eventual opportunity for BJP. He was correct, and he's proving more correct every passing day. So essentially, BJP sensed it has issues.
Which is a very astute fellow. I like the way he formulates things, understands events, and he's also been telling me for a long time that, you know, the only way to push back the BJP is recognize Muslims as a group who need a place on the high table.
Yeah,
If, you know, Sikhs have a place, today Mulayam Singh Yadavs had a place on the high table. But only when it comes to Muslims, we don't have a place for them on the high table.
Well, you must have read and heard Mr. Owaisi's comments 2 days ago, where he actually kind of, without naming the TRS and the Congress, warned them, saying, look, the BJP's growth in Telangana is now reaching that kind of point.
Terminal point here.
Yes. So essentially, Mohan, what's happening is there is a lot of anger. There is an anger that the leadership is not accountable, not accessible. See, don't forget the biggest criticism against Mr. K. Chandrasekhar Rao is
nobody meets him.
He's inaccessible. How do you? I mean, I am the editor of the largest newspaper in Hyderabad, English newspaper in Hyderabad and in Telangana. I don't know how to reach out to him with a request. I'm not saying the request will be accepted, but at least you would know a context. There isn't. There's just no way. Except when he would like. So this is the problem of accessibility. There is a perception of arrogance. There is a genuine perception of arrogance in people that the TRS leadership, not just at the top, at your MLA level, at the MPTC, ZPTC level, the feeling that there's been massive corruption, essentially through land. Land prices have, you can now with big data see the growth of land prices in different pockets and at large.
If you go to Adilabad, on one side of the river, which is the border, land prices are 6-7 times higher than the other side.
Yes, so for example, the whole 111 geo, which classically the court observed that this side of the road versus that side of the road. So essentially it has been about land, and land procured through various means. There have been enough sense of corruption, which has then got added with a sense of criminality, a sense of growing crime rate.
Is it that corruption is not an issue?
See, corruption.
Look at the last election where that Rajendra guy contested from.
Yes, Itala Rajendra.
That
Huzurabad.
In 2 villages, the villagers actually went on dharna. All the villagers, saying that you are giving 4,000 rupees per head. We need 6,000 rupees per family.
Yes. So
is there corruption an issue to those people?
Look, 6,000 Huzurabad, this happened not so long ago. We are talking of Munugode, where people are talking of up to 25 to 40,000 per vote.
1 gold biscuit.
Gold coin, or 1 gram, not biscuit really, but
no, today's paper says
1 gram, or 10 grams, I think 1 tola. Yeah. 10 grams is about 50,000 rupees per family, and then cash.
Yeah.
So it's a movable feast. Election is a movable
So the whole
feast in
process
India.
is vitiated.
So,
Is BJP not doing it? Where is the alternative then?
well, what happens, Mohan, I believe, is unlike us,
And funny,
who still have a ideal context in which we discuss. People out there are saying these are the realities. I will play cards based on the cards I've been dealt
and
with.
he votes for whoever he wants.
No, people will take money and still vote the way they want.
Precisely.
I believe money will only ensure high voter turnout.
Yep.
Which is why there's lower voter turnout in urban context, because people don't distribute money in cities.
So openly.
Yeah, you can't, not to the middle classes who still cherish that, well, we may not vote, but we will not take money and vote. So, essentially what money has done is ensured people have to vote, because once you take money, you have to at least go and vote. You can't not turn up. So, that's about the thing. Money influence is very high. But all this is further adding to the feeling that how much money they've earned that they're doing this. I think the bigger mistakes of this government would go down eventually if this government loses power, which looks likely today, which doesn't look, it looked unlikely, unimaginable that, KCR could even be challenged in Telangana not so very long ago. Today, I like to believe that TRS is on a shaky ticket because people believe Dalit Bandhu is one scheme that will perhaps be counterproductive. It may even boomerang on them. And second, the move to create a national party. I think where KCR erred is, he was saying, I am not going to go back to the people defending my performance in the second term. I will not go as the actual government in power seeking another mandate. Instead, I want to go and talk like an opposition leader, as if I am not in government, and therefore the center was brought in.
I think one of the most preposterous ideas.
Yes.
I've seen, the regional party, based on regional aspirations.
Sub-regional, if you like, if Andhra was the state,
But,
Andhra Pradesh was the state.
Suddenly you can't say that, now I've become a national party.
So this...
What is the rationale for your existence? Regional interest? And you've done a good job regional.
Yes, they've done a good job, no doubt.
So you
we
could
can
talk
debate
about the Telangana model of development. Could raise
and you lose the word T, letter T from your identity.
Removed it. And now you say, suddenly it's become a bit of a joke. So you're semaphoring to others who are regional parties, saying that you have to come under my umbrella.
Absolutely.
Because I am the new claimant.
Yes.
It doesn't work that way. I think who advised this move, I can't understand.
I don't know who advised him for sure, but let us say that the advice was
Wrong.
Was not correct or is not working effectively. It is causing a lot of concern. And to add Bharat, to take on Bharatiya Janata Party may not look to be the best strategy. So there is a perception of arrogance. There is also boredom. We underrate the value of boredom in politics. At some point, you say, I would like something new, somebody different.
Where does it leave the Congress?
Well, I would like to believe as of this moment, Mohan, if TRS is indeed going down, and a lot of surveys, a lot of experts who are working on numbers, I myself don't do surveys, but my sense is all anecdotal and perceptive, but a lot of people who have access to numbers, some of whom I respect, have told me numerically TRS is looking bad in Telangana today. They may not win, they may lose even very badly. It then leaves the field open. If you remove those 7 seats for MIM, and I won't put a number to TRS's eventual performance, but a reasonably low crop that they'll harvest, leaves a large number of seats open for contest between Congress and BJP. BJP has certain advantages, Congress has certain advantages. I will not write off the Congress yet. Don't forget, Rahul Gandhi has not yet stepped into Telangana with Bharat Jodo. What kind of an impact it will have? It's very unpredictable. It's very, very easy to write it off. It could have a kind of cascading impact on the emotive perception with which people attach to Congress. Congress still as an organization is very strong.
Congress is amazing resilience. I remember in 1987 Allahabad by-elections, VP Singh was contesting against the Congress, and we both were in a car together. We went to the last village on the UP side. On
the Allahabad. Eastern border, okay.
Yeah. And there we stopped, we saw one house, the whole place was a sea of pink.
And one agenda of Congress.
So he stopped in that house and he said, why are you flying this flag? Why aren't you flying Congress here? I've always been a Congress and I will be Congress till I die. Even my children are with you. But I will fly the Congress flag. And that you find in Telangana. Somewhere or the other, there's always a fellow flying a Congress agenda. The party has never really died down. It's there. Large goodwill, sentiment for it. And they're quite active also in the recent past.
I think, therefore, with the field open for both the opposition parties, both led by very strong, well-liked leaders, Revanth Reddy in Congress and Bandi Sanjay in BJP, they have their problems. They are both having problems. Organizational dissent, acceptance by seniors. For BJP, it is about lack of leaders in several places. They need the right candidates, but they have the money, the narrative, the agency to trouble TRS, to look like that party which can tame and defeat TRS if that's what people want. Congress has its
money between these two.
Congress can't have much money.
No, Congress is not.
Doesn't have money, obviously.
Underdog for a change.
Underdog, absolutely. Financially, I think Congress is. So yeah, they will end up.
But two comments I'd like, observations, not comments. Is in my travels in Telangana, and I travel quite a lot within the state because of my interest in wildlife and bird watching and things like that. I find that wherever I stop and talk to people, villages and all, they'll say, he's given us water, he's brought us prosperity. In no Telangana village, you will find less than a dozen motorcycles. Even daily workers are going on motorcycles.
Everybody has a motorcycle, a mobile phone.
And a mobile phone and tractors. You don't see bullock-drawn cars
no longer.
So there's prosperity.
There is prosperity.
People are saying we've done well. Water is wealth. So, and it's given water at home. It's another...
But Mohan, that's because you look like somebody so official and powerful. They're afraid. They have a feeling when they look at you. No, they feel you may be close to KCR and you will complain to them. But when normal people like me go, who look poor and are poor, they tell the truth. And they tell the truth that we are very angry against.
I noticed that every village in Telangana has got 2-3 temples coming up.
Yes.
The rise of religiosity.
Yes.
We never
Shivaji statues in the western side. You see Ganesh, you see Bajrang Bali, Hanuman.
In Hyderabad, near Utnur, there is a statue of Shivaji. So I asked, what is Shivaji doing here? Then I found that the migrant labor from Maharashtra coming.
And Hindu pride. See,
Hindu pride.
I like to believe TRS had a perfect template. They perfected a template to win elections. BJP knows how to counter it. Congress is still fighting. I would still not say, though BJP has an upper hand over Congress at this point of time, including in the by-election going, Munugode. And you spoke about Rajgopal's resignation, and his logic was very simple. I was in Congress. I could not get development because KCR doesn't care except for those.
So he couldn't get development for himself or for...
No, for the constituency. So here is an MLA who said, I failed you being a Congress MLA, but I did not go and join TRS and get ministryship and money. The only 3 constituencies that get developed in Telangana according to Rajgopal, and that is fine, is Gajwel, Siddipet and Sircilla. These are the 3, KCR, KTR, Harishaw. These are the 3 constituencies that are getting such good development. Everybody, Huzurabad was right in the cusp of those 3 and the people believed that, yeah. So I believe when opposition is talking about you are not doing as well as you ought to have once Telangana came, and KCR and TRS are saying you are doing well. It is like an India shining psychology at work. I think the person who says you have been wronged, you have not been given, and your life is not as beautiful as it should be, that is more believable. In other words, the opposition parties are carrying negative news that is far more acceptable.
Telangana is on the verge of change again. Maybe
Absolutely.
Win or lose, TRS will make an impact in our politics. If they win, if they lose, some other party is entering this vacuum. Hopefully, Congress will gain something from it. I don't know. Let's see.
I'll just observe, but fascinating to know that there is yet another opportunity in the history of the Telugu state where a leader, a party has something to offer at the national level. How impactful it will be?
I don't think there's anything to offer at the national level. I don't think this BRS is going to be credible at the national level. So you've got to have a strong base of your own and number of MPs of your own to be credible at the national level. I don't think that's happening in Telangana.
May not happen today, Mohan, but ambition is the first thing. And if anything, KCR has been a big dreamer. He saw things ahead of time. We don't know what he sees today.
He sees things which never were and wonders why not.
Yes, absolutely. So let's hope he has some thing to make a big ripple in Delhi. But I always back a Telugu man going and making an impact in Delhi. That will be my inner desire always.
Good.
Thank you so much, Mohan.